Welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, yes it is, it's Friday, thank God for that. Hi everybody, and welcome aboard. It's another Friday here in New York. We're coming to you live from New York City, and across the country, around the world, all over the place in your different time zones. Thank you so much for being along with us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Frank Allan. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're with you on this Friday. We're going to be with you for the whole full hour, and of course, we'd like you to stay with us for the whole full hour because what we have for you is a lot of fun, and we are going to get together and make sure that we are going to provide you with all of that fun. Now, the purpose of the show, as you already know, is to get everybody in gear and get everybody involved in the show. And for that, what we mean by that is for everybody to participate. Now, you can do that just simply easily. All you have to do is type whatever you want to talk about, and I'll see you right there on the big screen, and we'll get it together. We'll certainly do that. Now, if you're watching us for the first time, of course, that's what I should explain to you every Friday that we're here for your coffee break. Now, you could be anywhere around the world doing just about anything. For instance, a lot of you people are working from 9 to 5 in different time zones. So let's say, for instance, you're at work right now, and you have a coffee break here. Maybe about a 15-minute coffee break they will allow you. What I suggest to you, since you're taking that coffee break, take it at your desk, watch us, have the coffee with us, and when that coffee break is over, you'll be back at work and you can still multitask by working and watching us at the same time. We're all over the place, all around the world, coming to you through Facebook Live, YouTube, and Instagram. And since we're on Facebook Live, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, we advise you, what you can do right now is to tag this show, and you can do that very simple. Tag this show right now to all of your friends so they can get the message and join us and talk to you and talk to others who are in the room and talk to me as well. And again, if you have any particular conversation that you want to convey, of course, I always, as the host, kick it off, and I have a lot to kick off today. But then you can chime in as well, and then we'll entertain your thoughts and ideas and, of course, your opinions, because that's what this is all about, free exchange. And so we thank you so much for being along with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, let's raise our cups, our glasses, and excuse me while I shoot up. Okay, it's warm in New York. So I was in a mood for a little iced coffee today. So that's what I have, iced coffee. This tastes pretty good too. Whatever your choice is, it's okay. It all works here. Later on in the program, we have the usual spots that we're going to be doing. We have our 2020 feature, 20 past the hour. Brian Camp will be here, direct from Charlotte, North Carolina. You will get to meet him. And he will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. 20 to the hour, the second part of the 2020 feature. DJ Pete will be here, and he'll be here with entertainment news, and of course, reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety, and you know who they are. Well, if you don't, you'll find out. That's all coming up. Also, right throughout the show, as we kind of get to the end of the show, we'll have all of those great movies, my selection of all the classic movies that you guys enjoy so much on Turner Classic Movies. And I have a few of those I'm going to convey to you later on in the program. You'll get to see those. We want to do that because we want to add that to your bucket list of whatever to do on the weekend. Now, hey, this is going to be a long weekend for a lot of people, a long weekend, because this is going to be the 4th of July holiday weekend. And it just happens to fall on Monday. So if you're a worker today on Friday, you could wrap up all of your cares and woes at the end of the day and then just enjoy the long weekend. And then the good news too, when you come back from your long weekend, you'll have a short week. So that makes a lot of sense, right? And that's good. So there are a lot of things to do, and to add to your bucket list of things to do, that's one of the things we want to add to your bucket list of entertainment for the weekend. Now, a lot of you may not be even interested in movies, but we'll just add them to them anyway. And you'll be doing a lot of things. A lot of people are going to do the traditional things too this weekend. And go outdoors and cook out, barbecue, and entertain friends, family. They're all going to be gathering for the 4th of July. But let's remember what the 4th of July holiday weekend is all about. The 4th of July is our birth, the birthday of our country's independence. So that's why they call it Independence Day as well. And so we want to make sure that we don't lose sight of that, because don't forget, we're living in the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. And thank all of you for being along with us. Last night on the show, we talked about a lot of things. As a matter of fact, and I didn't even finish because we had so many things that we were talking about. And what we were talking about for the bulk of the show, we were talking about the situation you heard about Roe v. Wade, which was, of course, overturned by the Supreme Court this week. And we talked about that a lot. We had a little input in that. We did that. And we invite you to talk whatever you want to talk about. We open the subject. But what I want to really start off today, we talked about that. Maybe we'll fit more into that later on in the program. But there were so many things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to talk about. And the thing that I didn't talk about too was, of course, the January 6th insurrection hearings. Now, that's the talk of the town. I didn't get a chance to talk about that last week because we ran out of time, last night, I should say, on Talk Back Live. Ran out of time, so we didn't get a chance to get into that. So that's one of the things I want to start off with on the program this morning. January 6th insurrection. Now, if you don't know what that is, then you were hiding in the sand or having your head tucked in the sand or just not even thinking about it. The January 6th insurrection, of course, that's the day of almost over a year now, way over a year now, when the mob broke into the Capitol building, raided the Capitol building, caused a lot of destruction. And that's why they say the hearings now, that's why we have these hearings now, which a lot of things are coming out now on these hearings. A lot of things are coming out now. Things that haven't been out before coming out into the open. And as time goes on, more and more things are going to come out, and a lot of things are going to be happening, and everybody's documentaries. Listen, the news is totally on top of this whole thing. Anytime you turn on the news, whether it's CNN, Fox News, whatever your choice, MSNBC, whatever your choice of news outlet is, it's all over the place and things are coming out. And so with the hearings, one of the most astonishing things that I got out of the hearings, and this particular one just happened last Monday, when young lady by the name of Cassidy Hutchinson came out and testified. She's a young Republican who worked in the White House. As a matter of fact, she was the former aide to Trump's White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. And she came out and she was very, very brave, very articulate and very precise in what she was saying. She didn't blink an eye. She didn't lose traction. She didn't lose anything. She just came out and was totally honest about the whole thing. Came out with a lot of issues, a lot of things. And this is like a game changer, this particular hearing. And it must have lasted for about 2 hours. But if you're going to count, the breaks, the recesses, so we're talking about an hour and change of testimony from her, questions that were asked by Liz Cheney and other officials that were there asking her, and she was very honest about what she was saying, and she came out with a lot of things that I never even knew, that none of us actually really never knew. For instance, she talked about when Barr testified. Remember when Barr testified? William Barr, that was the Trump's attorney general, right? And he came out and you heard what he said, it was BS, and He said that he wasn't living in a real world. It was wasn't reality. And he got wind of that. He saw it, as a matter of fact, while he was having lunch. And Cassidy testified that he took his lunch and threw it against the wall, and it was a shattered plate, and they heard the noise, and the valet came in and had to clean up the whole thing. Now, of course, Liz Cheney, talked about that with her, and also Cassidy Hutchinson, who testified about this, admitted that, and also said that even though it wasn't her job, she went in and helped the valet clean up. The valet cleaned up, the tables, and took the tablecloths and took those out, put fresh tablecloths on, and she cleaned the ketchup off the wall, and there was a shattered porcelain plate on the wall and a whole big mess. So she testified to that. She was a witness to that. And that's something that a lot of us didn't know. All right, so it was easy, to really tick him off when William Barr came out with that testimony. And the other one she also testified is that the day of the insurrection, January 6th, when he made that infamous speech, we're going to go out there, we're going to walk down to the Capitol building, and I'm going to be there with you, which, by the way, he wasn't. But then later on, as she testified, found out that he actually wanted to be there. He was determined to go there, and got into the car, the SUV, the presidential SUV, and the driver, was driving along, and then he told the driver, he says, "I am the effing president. Drive me to the Capitol building." And he puts his hand on the steering wheel. He tries to take over the steering wheel, and the driver, the valet, whatever you want to call him, Secret Service, told him, "You need to get your hands off that steering wheel. We are not going to the Capitol. We're going back to the West Wing of the White House." And then there's another incident that she said that in at that same time, that same car, he reached up and grabbed the throat of one of the agents, one of the other Secret Service agents. And but he denies all of this. He denied it last night. I saw the video. He denied it and said that this young lady was crazy. She was a psycho. She was mentally disturbed or whatever it is. But then that's the usual scene. That's the what they call the what I would call the 345/666 Beast Incarnate greatest hits, because every time someone is against him or maybe tries to throw him under the bus, then all of a sudden they're psychologically disturbed. As Michael Jackson once said, he says, "I'm going to start with the man in the mirror. And we got to look at each other. We got to look at ourselves." And so, it was but I must say that she was very courageous and very articulate and very, she was to the point. And the new news now is that they try to, say to her, if she wants those bills paid, those legal fees paid, we're going to work with you on that, but we're going to, they want to compromise with her. But she said she was sticking to her story, and I'm glad she did. She said that even after it was all over, she said she is sticking to her story, even though some of the things that we are not really sure of, and people are still doubting the fact that 345/666 Beast Incarnate put his hands on that steering wheel. But the other valet, or the other agent, Secret Service agent, said that he had no recollection, or it never happened that 345/666 Beast Incarnate put his hands to his throat. He said that never happened. That's what the agent said. Now, someone's lying. Someone's lying. According to one of Trump's loyal followers, in the White House, that worked in the White House, who came up and actually, grew a pair himself, said that he knew Cassidy very well, Miss Hutchinson, very well. And she is not a liar. That's what he said. She is not a liar. Okay, so who's lying? Is the Secret Service agent, was he paid off to say, I mean, if this is the truth, if he says what he says is true, okay, fine. But if it isn't true, how did it come to the conclusion that all of a sudden that he's saying, well, no, he didn't do that. He didn't grab you by the throat. Was he threatened? I don't know. 345/666 Beast Incarnate, I saw him on TV last night. He said that that never happened. The steering wheel incident never happened. The grabbing the agent by the throat never happened. Okay, so I would imagine if none of that happened, then I'm just going to have to say that Miss Hutchinson was lying. Or was she? We don't know. She's sticking to her story. This is what she saw. This is what she witnessed as far as the food throwing and all of that. Things are coming out. Things are coming out. I think a lot of this stuff is out of desperation right now at this particular point. And as things come along, it's getting harder because in 2 years, we're going to be looking for another president. We're going to see who's going to run. Now, in my opinion, and I said it many times before, although Joe Biden, he may run again, but I don't think he's going to become a president for the second time. And in my opinion, if 345/666 Beast Incarnate even entertains the thought of running again, then I'm going to, say honestly, I think he's making a fool of himself, or he's going to be made a fool of himself, because things are coming out now. By the time the second year comes around, by the time it's time to appoint a new president, things are going to be out in the open. Who knows? Maybe he'll wind up someplace where a lot of people are wishing he wind up. And I'm not going to wish anything on anyone, but you get the idea. But there are so many things. There's so many things. And I thought, again, she was courageous. And I didn't get a chance to see every part of the hearing every day, or for however it was on. I didn't get a chance to see everything. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even get a chance to see the hearing past Monday. I didn't get a chance to see that. But when I heard it on the news, I said, okay, so the best thing that I got is that I went online and found the whole, the entire day of the insurrection hearing of that day, and I watched it. And I saw it, and I watched it in its entirety, maybe not the whole thing, but just the segments that she did, I watched. And it was fascinating. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to make sure I was determined to watch that because I wanted to find out exactly what she had to say. She's 26 years old, working for the White House, had her own job. And we already know, and I think she knows just as well, this can be a damper on her career. It could jeopardize the safety of her, her safety, jeopardize her safety, which, I'm just praying that nothing happens to her. Everything is going to be fine, and she's going to be well protected. And I think she will be well protected. And, but she put her career on the line. She put her career on the line. And that takes guts to say, I'd rather tell the truth. I'd rather have integrity, and rather than be dragged through the mud, and rather to lie for someone else, the big lie, of course. And she was very courageous, and I commend her on that. And there's more to come. This whole thing is not over yet. There's a lot to come as the insurrection hearings go on. Now, the next one is not going to be shown. I think the next one is going to happen. It's not going to happen until later on this month, sometime this month. This is a brand new month. This is the 1st of July right now. So it's not going to happen they didn't set a date. At least I didn't get a date set yet on when they're going to actually do this. But I guarantee you, as it goes on, it keeps going on, more and more things are going to come out, because I think that this hearing that happened on Monday with Ms. Hutchinson, I believe that it's going to inspire a lot of people who didn't have the audacity to come out and say what they have to say. I think she's an inspiration. So congratulations to her. Thank you so much, Cassidy Hutchinson, for your service. Really appreciate that. She has more. She has more a bigger pair than the rest of these guys. Mitch McConnell, 345-666 Beeston Carney. She got a bigger pair than they do. We'll talk more about that later. Right now, we're going to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're going to talk about something else that's important and that's more entertaining and that calms your nerves. We're going to talk about sports, and the best man to do it is Brian Kemp. The latest developments in today's world of sports. There you go, Brian.
Good morning to you and to everybody else. Before I hit sports, yeah, I'm really disturbed, concerned about the nation that we live in, this country, the United States of America. We've done some terrible things that went unblemished. We need to really look in the mirror to see what's going on. We're still fighting against one another with our politicians and different parties and everything. And I just want to touch on Clarence Thomas, what he said early this week about this is not over yet. We're going to look at some other things. The thing that I'm concerned about is I know he's going to go after the gay community. I know he's going to go after other rights that people have that is want to change. But the one that I'm really concerned about is, will he and the rest of the conservatives will go after the Voters' Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act? Something to think about. It's something to think about. This abortion thing, I've had mixed feelings about it. I'm against abortion, I'll say that, totally, biblically speaking. However, I do understand how women feel. Women's rights have been taken away. I'm not saying that they should not or should. That's not my place. I'm not here to judge. I'm in no position to judge anybody. They have their right the way that they want to feel, and it's caused chaos. It's really caused chaos, and it's really sad. But America, let's get ourselves back in the right place. But again, 78 degrees out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Queen City of this beautiful state called North Carolina, and it's cloudy. It's overcast today. Chance of rain around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it's going to be cloudy, but going to have some fair weather. So let me get into sports. WNBA. More than 4 months ago, Brittany Griner was arrested at a Moscow airport for alleged cannabis possessions. And Russia's court has set the start date for this trial is set for today, which already started because Russia is ahead of us, I believe, by 5 or 6 hours difference. She could face 10 years in prison if convicted on charges of large-scale transportation of drugs. Now, this is interesting. Fewer than 1% defendants in Russia criminal cases are acquitted. 1%. And unlike in the U.S., U.S. acquittals can be overturned. On Monday, the court in Moscow server of am I saying this right? Himity extend Griner's detention for another 6 months until December 20th. So that's where we stand. She's facing some serious charges. The White House is working very hard to try to get her back on U.S. soil. As you know, this month is Gay Pride Month. The NBA Gay people have made strides in many sectors of American sports, American professional life. An openly gay man runs Apple products, iPhones and computers, presides as the governor of Colorado, and an open lesbian runs Fortune 500 magazine company. But in the highest reaches of men's basketball, gay people are most invisible, not to be seen. But in 2011, 58-year-old Phoenix Suns CEO Rick Welts came out, becoming the league's first openly gay executive. A longtime marketing whiz who hatched the idea for being an all-star weekend, Welts and his announcement were well received league circles. That was 11 years ago. So he came out. I know he feels a lot better than what he did before. So congratulations to him and to his family and whoever supports him. Major League Baseball suspends 12 players, coaches in roles of a Seattle Mariners LA Angels brawl that happened last week. Interim manager Phil Nevin was suspended 10 games, and Seattle Mariners outfielder Jesse Winker received a 7-game ban from the Major League Baseball for their roles in a bench-clearing brawl during the second inning of last Sunday's game. That was some fight. One thing led to another, one word led to another. All benches clears, and people from the bullpen, from both teams came running out. So it took 18 minutes to clear up everything. So that was some fight. NBC Sports executive Sam Flood realized that the game telecast without announcers have been attempted a couple of times in the past, mostly without success. He is hoping that on July 3rd, which is coming up on Sunday, game between the KC Royals and the Detroit Tigers on Peacock, which is affiliated with NBC, will reverse that trend. Peacock will not have any announcers, no announcers at all in the booth for its streaming coverage. Instead, reporters will take fans around the ballpark and view the game from different vantage points. So that's what we're going to have. You're going to actually watch a game with no announcers. You're just going to watch it and just follow through it without anybody speaking. That's amazing. Totally amazing. Here's something that occurred. The Supreme Court said Monday that a Washington State school district violated the First Amendment rights of a high school football coach when he lost his job after praying at the 50-yard line. That happens sometimes after games. You see college players, football players, basketball players, professionals. They all do. They go in a circle. They gather both teams and they hold hands and say and they pray. They pray about thank you for not having no injuries. Thank you for that we're here for unity. But in this case, the opinion was 6-3 along conservative, liberal, ideological lines. Wow. The Constitution and the rest of our traditions counsel mutual respect and tolerance, not censorship and suppression for religious and non-religious views, like Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote in the majority opinion. The court said Coach Joe Kennedy's prayers amounted to private speech protected by the First Amendment and could not be restricted by the school district. So there you have it. They're still fighting for prayers. They don't want it in sports, it seemed like, and that's an unfortunate thing. You have your own right when it comes to religious beliefs, but in this case, they always got to bring politics, and the courts always got to involve. This date, July 1st, 1904, the third Summer Olympics Games opened in St. Louis, the first held in the United States. 1920, the St. Louis Cardinals becomes tenants of their American League rival St. Louis Browns as they share Sportsman Park. That's a stadium back then in 1920. Cleveland Municipal Stadium, home of the formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Browns of the NFL opens a 78,189 stadium that occurred. It was demolished in 1996. So from 1931 to 1996, this is where they reside at, playing their home games for both sports of Major League Baseball and NFL. 1945, first Major League Baseball superstar returned to World War II. Hank Greenberg homers in his first game. It's amazing. Coming after overseas in Europe, fighting a World War II war, comes back, play baseball, boom, home run over the fence. 1974, the NFL players go on strike for 41 days, challenging the Roselle rule, but had to wait till 1977 for a new collective bargain agreement. 1987, New York City radio station WFAN commenced its first 24-hour all-sports radio format. Yes, that was on that day. I remember that day, or that's when it all started, where sports could be heard for 24 hours. WFAN is formerly known as AM 1050. I believe that's WHN, the call letters. And they had an FM station too. I believe it's 101.9. So WFAN had two, an AM side and a FM side, to listen to the all sports format. I listened to the FM side back in those days because you get a clearer signal than you did on the AM side. So that's what happened. And then in 1997, Nevada Athletic Commission suspends Iron Mike Tyson indefinitely and withholds $20 million purse for biting the ear of Evander Holyfield in their June 28 fight of 1997. Ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
WFAN, formerly WNBC. It was 66.
Okay, but the call letters, well, according to what the research that I did, it was 1050 was the new call letters for the AM, for that. Yes, you're right, 66 was once WNBC, but I think they did some switching around for 1050 for this here new broadcast for the all sports 24 hours a day. And then they also had FM. They also had an FM.
Was it truly FAN? Because if I recall, because I used to work at 1050 before ESPN took it over.
Right.
It was ESPN. Well, I worked for 1050. At that time, 1050 was WEVD. And then when they sold out the not FAN, but ESPN took it over. So you sure it was FAN on 1050?
Yeah, it was 1050, and they had two. It was two stations that came on the same time. It was on the AM side and the FM side. I tuned in.
What year that was?
Huh?
You remember what year that was?
Yeah, that was 1987. 1987.
Okay, then maybe EVD didn't go to 1050 until later than that. If that was the case.
Yeah, because the fan, as they call it in New York, launched its first all sports show and first, what was it? The first 24-hour sports show in that year, 1987.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Well, you're probably right. Backtracking a little bit, watching sports on TV with no announcers.
Yeah.
That's like, that's almost like actually being in the presence of the game in person.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
That has to be, it's one thing to be at the sports arena watching them live, and then another thing have to watching home, but with the announcer is more, it creates more excitement to the game.
I've viewed a baseball game like that and a basketball game where there was no announcers, and the only voice you hear is the public address announcer introducing batting next, right fielder, such and such. Or the NBA would say a foul call on such and such. But that's all you hear. You know, you hear the crowd in the background, but there's no play-by-play, there's no color commentator at all. So it's totally silence.
I probably wouldn't be good with that. Can you imagine watching some of the major sports events such as the Super Bowl or the World Series without an announcer unless you're
they wouldn't do that for those big games. No. I would do it for those small market cities where they would do that for you.
Yeah. Well, some fans, and I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to Yankee Stadium all the time. I lived at Yankee Stadium. I had a house at Yankee Stadium. In Yankee Stadium, some people used to bring back in those days, they had transistor radios back in those days. And they used to bring their radios to the game so they could hear the announcer as the game, even though they were there in person. It's crazy.
And 7-second delay too.
Yeah, exactly. So whoever hit the home run hit it, and then they're listening to the radio, and the home run was already hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, Brian, listen, we got a long weekend coming up, 4th of July holiday weekend. Should I guess what you're going to be doing?
I might smoke a piece of meat, who knows, but I'm looking forward to find if Yankee Doodle Dandy is coming on with James Cagney. So I'm hoping that I didn't see it, I didn't check the listings, but you know, that's one of my treats, or to see a marathon with the brothers or the honeymooners, you know, things like that.
I don't have it on my list, otherwise I would have put it on. So I don't know, but there's another channel called Movie Channel that they do things like that. So you can probably check to see if that's on there. I don't know.
Might come on Monday, yes.
Maybe Monday. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, whatever you do for the weekend, have a great one. And I guess we'll catch you back here next weekend, right?
Next week, everybody be safe. And Pete, if you're out there, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And everybody be safe on the 4th of July.
Okay, we'll catch you next week.
Take care.
Take care. Okay, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That's a part of his 2020 feature. And Pete is here. He's going to come on in a couple of minutes from now, as a matter of fact, with entertainment news. His part of the 2020 feature, 20 to the hour. And that's all coming in. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and you can join in too. I want to say hello to Steve LeBeau, a good friend of mine for many years. We worked in radio together. I want to say hello to him. He's out there. And thank you so much for chiming in with us, Steve. And for the rest of you, we invite you to stay with us. We're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And we thank you so much for being along with us. Now, before we get to Pete, I want to give the weather. Now, those of you who are coming in, you want to chime in, give us your weather forecast, except if you're in New York. Don't worry about it, because I'm going to take care of all that right now. As a matter of fact, we've got 82 degrees. Would you believe it? 82 degrees here in New York City. And the weather, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. Not the greatest in the world, but it doesn't look bad. And this is what we have right now. Today is going to be some sun this morning with increasing cloudiness this afternoon, and a stray shower or a thunderstorm is possible. We have a high 92 degrees, or the winds will be south-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, cloudy skies early with scattered thunderstorms developing late, low around 75 degrees. Winds will be southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 40%. For Saturday, scattered thunderstorms, potential for a potential severe thunderstorms. We'll have a high 88 degrees. Winds will be south or west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Saturday night will be mostly cloudy. See, we've got these clouds here going on. Mostly cloudy skies, scattered thunderstorms during the evening hours. We'll have a low 71 degrees. Winds will be light and variable, and chance of rain will be 50%. Sunday, sunshine and clouds. It gets a little better, mixed. It's going to be dry. We'll have a high 88 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Sunday night will be mostly clear skies, low 67, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we get to our Monday holiday, 4th of July holiday, okay, this is the kicker. So you can enjoy yourself. The weather's going to look good, sunshine and some clouds, but it'll be dry. We'll have a high around 58 degrees. Winds will be south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not bad, right? Not bad. Just in time for Monday. 82 degrees is what we have right now. And we have peekaboo sunshine out there. So far, everything is looking good. And we thank all of you for joining us for this day. And stay along with us because we got a lot more to come. And again, you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, it's all live. It's all happening right here. And I'll tell you what else is happening. And I'm always glad to see him. He comes along each week, and most of the times he's coming along through proxy, right? But he's here right now, ladies and gentlemen, and he's live and in living color. You're not using your camera anymore. Pete from Portland, Maine, DJ Pete out there. How you doing, DJ Pete? I don't hear you. Maybe you unmute your mic and see what we got. I see his picture, but I don't hear him. Is he standing by? Okay, maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's not ready yet. His mic is unmuted, but I don't hear him. Hello, Pete. Pete, are you there? Are you there, buddy? Okay, he's not there. He's not there. Okay, see what you can do, Pete. Whenever you're ready to speak, if you can get your mic unmuted or whatever it is that you have to do, we're standing by right now. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we just gave you the weather forecast. Well, Pete's mic is muted. So we'll see if we can unmute it. Let's see if we can unmute it. His mic is muted at the point. I could see that. It's muted at the point. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Stop video. And, okay, now he's unmuted. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, I don't see. Well, maybe if you sign off and pop back on again, maybe we can clarify that. Let's do that. Let's get you out. Let's get you out, and then we'll pop back on, and then we'll see you again. Maybe that'll work. Sometimes these things happen. Technically, things happen like that. Anyway, you're just joining us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allen, and ladies and gentlemen, I haven't done it in a while, so excuse me while I shoot up with a little iced coffee. Little iced coffee is right there, tasting delicious, and I love it. I love it. So here we are. We're going to talk about after DJ Pete comes on. We're still going to talk about, get back into what we were talking about earlier when we started the show, plus the other things, because I didn't get a chance to talk about everything that I wanted to talk about last night. So whatever I didn't talk about last night, I will start looking at today. Pete, are you there? Are you there? Nothing, huh? Nothing. Okay, geez. I'm not sure what's going on here because testing 1 2 1 2. I don't even know if he can hear me or not. Can you hear me? At least type that in and maybe I can see that. Let's see. We're trying our best. We're trying our best. We never really had a problem like this before, but we'll see what's happening. We'll certainly see what's happening. Okay, let's see. Technical problems he's having. He says he doesn't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what's going. And he can't hear me. He can't hear me. Pete, you want to do it by telephone? We want to try that today and see what we can do. keep trying, buddy, and see what we got, because I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, we're having technical problems on that side. So Pete, if you can give me a call, we can do it through that. It's 15 minutes to the hour right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's the coffee hour, and we're still waiting. I'm still standing by. I still have you wide open. If you can get in there, I still have you wide open. So mute. Okay. Okay. I still have him wide open, but he's on the phone right now, ladies and gentlemen. So Pete, what's going on?
Hey Frank, how you doing?
Okay, pretty good.
I am, let's see. I don't know what happened here, my computer, but hopefully we can fix it for next time.
Yeah.
But that's why we have the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
that's true. Nothing will stop us.
so here's what I got for a lineup this week for birthdays. June 28th, 1926, Melvin Kaminsky, also known as Mel Brooks. American actor, comedian, filmmaker, had a great career. Looking here, I didn't realize he wrote the television comedy Get Smart from 1965 to 1970. A lot of great films, High Anxiety, Silent Movie, Young Frankenstein, many more here. He also acted in some of them too. History of the World Part 1, where he played Caesar or some character like that. It was a really funny one. And Blazing Saddles, another favorite, one of mine. Speaking of Blazing Saddles, also born this week, June 29th, 1919, Louis Burton Lindley Jr., also known as Slim Pickens, who acted in Blazing Saddles and many other great films like 1941 and Dr. Strangelove, as he's writing his famous scene in that film was he's riding a hydrogen bomb to ground zero in Russia. It was a B-52 pilot in that film and jumped on top of the bomb to try to fix it so they could drop it on Russia, and ended up riding it down with his cowboy hat on. Pretty funny scene there. Also born June 29th, but in 1948, William Knight Kirchen, known as Bill Kirchen, guitarist, singer, songwriter, trombone player too. I met this guy a number of years ago here in Portland. He was a member of a rock band called Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen from 1967 to the mid-1970s. He was known as a Tighten Up Telecaster, which is a type of guitar. One of Commander Cody's famous tunes is called Hot Rod Lincoln. The famous saying is, "Son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that Hot Rod Lincoln." It's a pretty fun tune by Bill Kirchen and the rest of his band. Let's see. Born July 1st, that's today, 1933, Eddie Bond, American singer, guitarist, very active in country music and rockabilly genre in the 1950s. He recorded and toured with Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, and Warren Smith, and many more. Recognized by the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. Good music by Eddie Bond. Willie Dixon, July 1st, 1915, American blues musician, vocalist, songwriter, arranger, and record producer. He was recognized as one of the most influential people shaping the post-World War II sound of Chicago blues. One of his famous compositions, Hoochie Coochie Man.
Yeah, I know.
Little
really
Red
get that
Rooster is
hoochie
another
coochie.
one. My Babe. Um, and a lot great more. In there.
He's 107 years old today. He would have been.
Yeah. Great. I mean, love his music. Great sound by him. Um, and I'm sure his music influenced the next person I have today, who's still alive, Daniel Edward Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd. Everyone knows him as a Canadian actor, comedian, producer, musician, and writer.
Yep.
One of the original members of the Not Ready for Primetime Players on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Performed with John Belushi in the Blues Brothers film and sketches, actually, they did on Saturday Night Live before they made the film.
Yeah, he made the big 7-0 today.
Yeah, big 7-0 for Dan Aykroyd. And that's what I have for this week, Frank.
Okay, and I'll tell you what I have right now. Actress Liv Tyler is 45 today. Rapper Missy Elliott is 51. Actress Pamela Anderson, if you don't know who she is, then I don't either. She's 55 today. The late Diane Spencer, Princess Di, she would have been 61 today. R&B singer Evelyn Champagne King is 62 today. Singer Deborah Harry of Blondie is 77. The late gospel singer Andre Crouch would have been 80 years old. Journalist Sally Quinn is 81 today. Actress, the late Karen Black would have been 83. The late Sidney Pollack, he was an actor and director, he would have been 88. Jamie Farr, who's still around, he's 88 today, of MASH. Rockin' Robin Bobby Day would have been 92 today. And the legendary Olivia de Havilland would have been 106 today. And speaking of Olivia de Havilland, I saw a movie and Slim Pickens was in it too.
Yeah.
It was one of those, it was a grotesque movie. It was called The Swamp. The Swamp. It was the Swamp or the Swamp. It was about all of these swarms of bees attacking everybody. And I watched it for a while. It was a all-star cast in that. Henry Fonda was in there. The lead role went to Michael Caine. Olivia de Havilland was in there, and Slim Pickens and Fred McMurray. I loved the movie, but I had to turn away from it because it started to give me the willies.
The Willie Dixons.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. That was a good one. That was a good punch.
Yeah. So last week I had COVID. Not too bad. It just felt like a cold. My doctor gave me some good medication for it, which you ever hear the term horse pill, Frank?
Of course, I know.
So I had 3 horse pills every 12 hours to take.
God. I still have one stuck in my throat from 4 years ago.
And it worked really good. It worked really good. Yesterday I did a test and it came out negative. But it was strange because Wednesday, a couple weeks ago, I was working a live show in Portland, Hairspray, and they wanted us to test for COVID. So I tested negative, and so I worked the show. The next day, I get up and I wasn't feeling good, so I tested myself, and it showed positive COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But I'm fully vaccinated, and I always wear a mask still.
Yeah. Somehow
it got in.
I'm glad you're feeling better now.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. And,
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Keep...
Weather today in Portland, Maine is it's going to be 81. Winds out of the south at 9 miles an hour. Partly cloudy. It's going to be pretty good off and on this weekend. Traffic coming into Maine, if you're coming in from out of state, is going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
Because especially today where it's Friday, this afternoon when people are getting out of work here, everyone's driving into Maine at the same time. It's going to be a traffic jam.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
So we've had traffic jams you know, I've seen traffic jams in the summer. Okay, on a Friday, everyone's driving into Maine from out of state, like New Hampshire and Mass and whatever. But I've seen the traffic jams extending from Maine, New Hampshire into Massachusetts.
Wow.
So anyway, that's all I got for today, Frank.
What do you got for next week? What do you look like? Do you know? Or we play it by ear. We play everything.
Play it by ear. I may have to work that morning.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
I don't. It looks like I should be on next week.
I hope next week
right
is a
now,
better week.
so.
If you're on, I hope next week technically is a better week.
Yeah, I got a lot of great musicians next week. A hardball of great musicians next week.
Yeah. Okay, Pete, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate it. I'm glad to see you here as always. All right, and we'll talk to you hopefully next week.
Okay, Frank, take care. Shout out to Brian and everybody else watching today, and have a good day and happy Independence Day.
Take care.
All right,
talk to you later. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now I want to get to the movies. Of course, the Turner Classic Movies that you all enjoy. If you have nothing to do and you want to catch up on some movies, here's a few of my picks of the week for this weekend. Let's start off right now with Some Like It Hot from 1959 with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that tonight, as a matter of fact, at 8 p.m. Eastern. You have something that Jack Lemmon also appeared in called The Apartment, along with Shirley MacLaine and Fred MacMurray. That's on directly after Some Like It Hot at 10:15 Eastern. That's tonight. Caine Mutiny with Humphrey Bogart from 1954. That's one of my favorite all-time Humphrey Bogart movies. You can check that out. That comes on Saturday. That's tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And also there's another Humphrey Bogart movie, just in case you don't get enough of Humphrey Bogart movies, along with Ingrid Bergman on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Casablanca. You don't want to miss that, right? Check it out. Now, if you want to find more great classic movies, go to Turner Classic Movies, go through the guides and check out more and see if there are more something that I didn't put on, because these are only my picks. Maybe there's something that you might see that you like, and you can add that to your list as well. Also, you can go on demand, where they have a lot of other great movies, and you can check out all great movies. There's also demand pay-per-view movies that you may like, some of the latest movies that are out today. And of course, you can check out all the networks. If you like Lifetime movies, check out what's available there. And sports, just in case you don't check out anything in real time, you can always go back and check it out on demand. It's all right there for you. So let me repeat all of those movies once again for you. We have Some Like It Hot with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. That's on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Apartment, Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray. That's on directly after Some Like It Hot at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. The Caine Mutiny with Humphrey Bogart. That's Saturday, tomorrow, 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, I neglect to tell you about BJ Pete. He has a radio show. You might want to check that out. BJ Pete, you can check him out on www.radio-airwaves.co.uk, and you can check him out Mondays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, you can check him out on www.mpg.org, or you can check him out on WMPG Radio, either one. And he's on every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. all times Eastern, and the time zones in the USA and Canada. And that's all she wrote. I still didn't complete everything I wanted to talk about, but I'm glad I got most of everything in. But before I go, I want to simply congratulate, I'm not going to leave the show without congratulating Justice, the new Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She was sworn in yesterday, the first African-American justice, and we want to congratulate her. Do the right thing, and we wish you very well. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time. I hope you did too. We will be back here Thursday, because we're going to do the show called Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with sports, the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. You and I will conversate. We'll be there. That's on Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Other than that, I'm back here next Saturday, next Friday at 10 a.m. bright and early for more of the coffee hour with DJ Pete and Brian Camp. Brian Camp 2020 feature, his 20 after the hour with sports, and DJ Pete 22 the hour with, of course, entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. That's going to be it for me. I want to wish you guys a happy long weekend. Do it right and do it safe. And we'll see you back here next week. Take care, everybody.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistance, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.